Yeah, so my name is Tom Duever, and I have the privilege to serve as the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering and Architectural Science at Toronto Metropolitan University, and I'm also a professor of chemical engineering. Well, you know, at heart, I'm an educator, and so when I see classrooms full of students and all the excitement and buzz and activities around, it makes me feel great. So I'm very, very happy to see the campus and all the activities, and just feeling very proud that we've been able to start our programs. I did. I met on, I think it was Monday morning or Tuesday morning, I forget now, with the entire engineering class, and we had a great discussion. I was really impressed by the excitement that the students showed. I asked them why they went into engineering, and the answers I got were very impressive, actually. Some of them talked about AI and robotics and forming their own company. Others talked about the United Nations Sustainable Design Goals and wanting to have a role in addressing those. And so it was just great. Of course, you know, engineering is quite a demanding program, and so they did talk about the usual concerns about, you know, the assignments are too long and we have to, the work is hard and so forth. But I'll tell you, nothing that I heard is different from what I'm hearing in Toronto. So the concerns are exactly the same. Well, you know, we've been working on this project, on this collaboration for probably about 3 years. And so it's taken a lot of work to get to this stage, a lot of mobilization on our part. You know, I have colleagues back in Toronto that have worked very hard to make sure that the curriculum is being implemented correctly. I know our faculty members that we've hired here, who are absolutely excellent, have worked hard to prepare themselves for the courses and for teaching our students. So it just means a great deal to me and to our faculty. The other thing that I would say is that Toronto Metropolitan University and the Faculty of Engineering and Architectural Science has developed and is implementing a globalization, internationalization strategy, and this is a very important part of that. This is our first campus outside of Canada, outside of Toronto for that matter, and it's important for us because you know, we want Toronto Metropolitan to be known globally, and this is a very important region for us to start that activity, to get known in the MENA region and go from there. We do a lot to complement the academics, the lectures and tutorials that we give. First of all, TMU, you know, we've been around for 75 years, and we initially started off as a polytechnic, so very hands-on oriented. And as we've evolved and become a research-intensive university, we've maintained that hands-on element. So our courses, by comparison to other engineering programs, have a lot of experiential learning opportunities, so hands-on learning opportunities for our students. So I think that's one differentiator. The other thing I will say is that we layer a lot of extracurricular and co-curricular activities on top of the programs that the students take. So in Toronto, for example, we have over 40 design teams. So these are teams that sit outside of the curriculum, where students get together, and students from different disciplines, sometimes even from non-engineering disciplines, get together and work on a particular project. And through that experience, develop leadership skills, teamwork skills, business skills that are extremely valuable to them in their later careers. And these are some of them are really fun projects. Like we have a concrete toboggan team out of civil engineering. We have a team that builds a race car out of mechanical engineering, a rocketry team, So it's those kinds of activities, but then we also have an IEEE, electrical engineering section, student section that works on various projects. So it's just a lot of activities in that sense. And we are planning to bring some of those activities to the Cairo campus as we grow, as we evolve the programs. The other thing I would say is that we've worked very hard to establish a very robust co-op program for our students in Toronto, which we are planning to mimic here. And it's robust in the sense that we spend a lot of time preparing our students for those work terms. So students entering third year signal to us whether or not they're interested. So it's not mandatory, it's voluntary, it's for those that are interested. So they signal to us at the beginning of third year, yes, I'd like to go and spend a year working in a company. And we then put them through a training program and then help them find a placement. And what's happened over my tenure there as dean, I've been dean for 8 years now, is that we've achieved 50% of our students now go and take advantage of this co-op program. And for an engineer, it's an incredibly valuable way of augmenting your program and really acquiring skills that will serve them extremely well as they move out into their career later on. So in Canada, and I believe the situation may be similar in Egypt, we don't have enough women pursuing careers in engineering. And it varies by field, but certainly we have a lot of work to do to increase the number and bring more young women into the profession. And why is that important? Well, you know, one of the underlying values that we have at TMU is around equity, diversity, and inclusion. So we think a diverse workforce, an inclusive workforce, is a better workforce. It'll be more effective, more efficient, and that's where better ideas develop. And so what we've done is we've focused on attracting young women to consider a program or a career path in engineering, and we do that in a lot of different ways. So we have outreach programs where our staff go to schools and present programs to young girls as young as 8, 9 years old. We also provide workshops at the university. We have a program in Ontario, in our province, called Go Eng Girl. So we'll bring girls into the university and give them a lot of information about what engineering is about and have a lot of activities for them to do to see that it's really an attractive option for them. A lot of people think engineers are work alone in a dark room somewhere and so on, and nothing could be further from the truth. Engineering is actually a very collaborative field. People always work in teams and work with people from different disciplines and are really solving really important societal problems. So we do those activities. We also at the university have our Women in Engineering group, and they put on events. So they will bring female alumni back to the university for networking, for mentoring, and we also put on a variety of workshops and lectures and so forth to help our female students progress and find the right career opportunities. Well, the first thing I'd say is there aren't a lot of aerospace engineering programs in Canada, and I don't think there are a lot of aerospace engineering programs here. So our market research shows that it's going to be a very popular program, and that there is a good demand for it. So just like our program in Toronto, I think it's going to be very successful and a very attractive option for students in Egypt. Again, it's a broad field. It deals not only with the design and manufacturing of aircraft, but it deals with satellites, space exploration, So a broad variety of topics that fall within that discipline. So I'm looking forward to being able to offer that program here. Well, over the coming years, so we're launching aerospace engineering next year. We have some other engineering programs that we could potentially offer. We have to do our market research to see if there's demand for those programs. But in particular, I'm really looking forward to seeing our facilities evolve. We have a number of floors to complete in Building B, and those floors are going to house our laboratories. So we have, as we introduce second year, third year, fourth year, there are more laboratories that we have to build, and we just need more space because we're going to be bringing in a lot of students, and so we're looking forward to that expansion and seeing that evolve. Thank you for that question, because it allows me to, first of all, make a statement that engineering, I mentioned this a bit earlier, but engineering is really about solving societal problems, about helping people, helping humanity. And climate change, in my opinion, is the #1 challenge that we are facing today. And really, it doesn't matter what engineering field you're in, all our engineering disciplines help in that regard. So whether you're looking at electric vehicles, whether you're looking at alternate energy sources, wind power, solar power, and so forth, whether you're looking at sustainable buildings, sustainable cities, new ways of transportation, agriculture, so the production of food, all of these fields, all of these endeavors involve engineers from our various programs. So we have a great deal to contribute. In fact, I think we're key to solving those problems. I have a lot of tips for our students. One tip I would give them is, and I tell the same thing to our students in Toronto, don't suffer in silence. Meaning, if you have problems, if you're struggling, if you have questions, ask us. We're here to help. We're here to support. And so we already had, in that session that I talked about, we had some students come forward and say, you know, I'm really struggling, I'm having some problems. So we're immediately pivoting, and we're now going to offer additional study halls to help them with catch up and help them with their assignments and so forth. So that's one thing I really encourage our students to do. I also would say to our students, and I know this is hard, but don't be too fixated on your grade point average in the first semester. Make sure you're learning, make sure you're understanding, and the rest will come. And I know students are worried about grade point averages because of scholarships and maybe their parents are pushing them and so forth, but it's really about, you know, the transition from a high school program into an engineering program is difficult. And so students struggle, and so get used to it, learn, make sure you're understanding. If you have questions, ask, and then the marks will come. And finally, my last tip would be take care of yourself. Make sure you're sleeping, make sure you're eating well, and make sure you're getting enough physical exercise.